Good day, learners, and welcome to our science class. I am Ma'am Abigail A. Garcia, your teacher for today's lesson. Sit back, learn, and enjoy the fun world of science. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to classify tropical cyclones according to strength of winds, enumerate the effects caused by tropical cyclones, and show concern to the victims of the calamity. Before we go on to our next lesson, let us have a short review first. Yesterday, we tackled about weathering and its difference to erosion. What do we mean by weathering? Correct! Weathering is the breaking down of rocks and minerals on the surface of. I have here graphic organizers about weathering and erosion. What you are going to do is you will complete the organizer by putting the information that describes each. You only have 5 minutes to answer this activity. You may pause this video while answering the activity. Are you done answering? Let us check your answer. Let's start with weathering. Weathering is the decomposition of rocks, soil, and minerals by direct contact with the atmosphere. The weathered materials are not displaced, and it is caused due to atmospheric factors like air pressure. On the other hand, erosion is the displacement of solids by wind, water, and ice. The eroded materials are displaced, and wind, water, and ice, and human activities are some of the causes of erosion. Now that you have already learned about weathering and erosion, let us have a game. Do you know the game 4 Picks 1 Word? I will show you 4 pictures, and then you will guess the word the picture means. You may use the given letters as a clue. Are you ready? Let us start with this one. What do you think is the answer here? Very good. The answer is weather. How about on this one? What do you think is the word here? That's correct. The word here is disturbance. Today's lesson will be about weather disturbance. But before we go on with our topic, we will watch a clip from GMA's Best Quator. Sit back, listen carefully, and grab your pen and paper so that you can note the important details of the news clip.
Ubod ng bagal at ubod ng lupit. Ganyan ang naging pananalasa ng bagyong Lando sa malaking bahagi ng Luzon. Bahagyamang humina, inaasahang magpapatuloy ang pagragasa ng bagyo na sa mga oras na ito ay nasa Ilocos pa rin.
At dahil sa mga pagbahang dulot ng bagyo na yan, libo-libong residente ang kinailangan ilikas mula sa kanilang mga tahanan tulad sa Garcia. Doon po kanya-kanyang diskarte ang mga rescue team para mailigtas sa mga residente na naipit sa lagpas taong tubig. Mula sa lungsod ng Cabanatuan, nakatutuklahin si Cesar Apolinario. Cesar?
Alam mo, Mike, kung ang lokal na pamahalaan ay nahirapan na napasukin ang mga barangay na sobrang baha, yung mga barangay naman dito na hindi narating ay gumawa ng paraan para mailigtas ang kanilang mga kapitbahay at yung mga nasasakupan nila. Hindi biro ang ginawang pakikipagsapalaran ng mga opisyal ng barangay para maisalba ang mga natrap na kababayan sa Cabanatuan City, Nueva Ecija. At dahil walang gamit para ligtas na isagawa ang rescue operations, maging salbabida at batya, pinagtyagaan para makapagligtas lang ng buhay. Nasa kabilang compound sa mismong tabi ng ilog na trap ang karamihan sa mga residente ng barangay Sangitan West. Ang lalaking ito kasamang natrap ang kanyang 2 aso kaya gumamit ng flashlight para humingi ng saklolo. Kung ang ilan nasa lubog nilang bahay pa, ang grupo naman ng kababaihang ito inabutan ng baha habang lumilikas kaya natrap sa mismong ibabaw ng pader ng compound. Hanggang bubong na kasi ang tubig baha sa may 89 na barangay rito sa Cabanatuan City pagsapit ng hating gabi. kaya di na nag-aksaya ng oras ang mga tanod na tumulong mag-rescue. Maya-maya pa, ilang ginang na naunang nailigtas sa mga tanod. Pero ang problema, marami pa sa kaanak nila ang naiwan sa lugar.
May mga naiwan pa doon. Yung mga gamit namin, ala na po, labog na eh.
May mga ilang kamag-anak niyo pa mga nandun?
Ilan ba? May 5 pa, 6. 6 pa po. Ngayon lang ako nakapag-experience ng ganito. Buti na lang at andito kayo. Diyos ko. Mamamatay kami dyan kung hindi nyo kami na-rescuehan.
Mula sa dilim, naaaninag ang isang salbabida na may sakay na 2 bata.
Nagpastaw na po eh. Umabot na po ng second floor ng bahay eh.
Ilang sandali pa, 2 hanggang 3 bata ang pinagkakasya sa isang salbabida. Mapabilis lang ang rescue operation.
Kasi na naiwan doon sa bahay ninyo?
Mga mama po nila.
O, mama nyo. O, ilan pa sila ron? Ilan? Ha? Anak, salita ka. Nang makakuha yung ano mo. Ito po. Naiwan. Ilan pa sila? Nasyak na itong mga bata na to.
Hanggang alas 3 sa madaling araw, hinihikayat ang iba pang natrap na mag-evacuate na. Pero tila, mas gusto nilang manatili.
Ilan pa kayo dyan, kuya? Ilan pa? Kaya mo to. May bata pa.
Kahapon pa. Sa dayo lang po siguro na hindi maiwan-iwanan yung mga kabuhayan nila. Mga alagang hayop sa kagamit sa bahay. Kaya nagbabaka sakali sila na hindi naman daw tataas yung tubig. Eh eto na nga po, tumaas.
Diniretso sila sa mga evacuation center. Karamihan sa kanila, mga bata, matanda at mga babae na ang ilan ay buntis pa. Nagsimulang bumaha sa Cabanatuan City maghahating gabi kagabi. Kapansin-pansing pati mga sasakyan na hindi na makaandar sa highway na binaha. Lalo't may kasamang lupa ang tubig na rumagasa mula sa matataas na lugar gaya ng Ilocos Region. Dahil patuloy ang pagragasa ng tubig, patuloy rin ang rescue operation sa maraming bayan sa Nueva Ecija. Lalo't marami pa rin ang natrap sa kanilang mga bahay. Naapektuhan din ng baha ang mga pampublikong gusali gaya ng ospital. Sa kabuuan ay may 55,000 na pamilya ang naapektuhan ng pagbaha dito sa buong Nueva Ecija. Ang bilang ng individual na yan ay mahigit 222,000 na individual. At 35% pa raw ng populasyon dito sa Nueva Ecija ang kailangang i-rescue. Katunayan ay nagpapatuloy ang rescue operation hanggang sa mga oras na ito. At inaantabayanan yung 3 bayan pa, bali sa pababa dito mula rito sa Cabanatuan. Inaasahang babahain yung mga bayan na yan at dyan magtututok ang rescue operation ng mga otoridad. Mike?
Ang problema diyang Nueva Ecija, yung kasi ang tigasalo ng tubig, Cesar, tulad na nabanggit mo kanina mula sa Rio ng Ilocos, pati na yung mga tubig na galing Aurora pababa. Diyan lahat nagpupuntahan sa Nueva Ecija. 2 maiklit, mabilis na tanong lang. Kamusta na ang panahon dyan? Umiigi na ba kahit papano? At pangalawang tanong, yung baha, humuhupa ba, Cesar, kahit papano? Dahil kanina, hindi makarating sa Cabanatuan. Barado yung daan eh, Cesar?
Mike, bali yung pag-ulan, medyo nararamdaman pa rin natin. In fact, nung nag-live tayo, medyo umaambon, medyo lalakas maya-maya, tapos hihinto ulit. Ayon naman sa mga residente, okay daw yon dahil medyo huhupa pa lalo itong pagbaha. I-explain ko lang sa iyo, Mike, yung tinatanong mong paghupa. Itong tubig dito sa kinatatayuan ko, lubog na lubog ito. Kung makikita mo yung second floor ng bahay, isang talampakan na lang, abot na yung second floor ng bahay. Ganun kataas yung tubig baha na nanggaling sa ilog. Kasi itong nasa likuran ko, ilog na ito eh. So talagang naapektuhan lalo na yung mga residente sa tabi ng ilog, Mike.
Maraming salamat, Cesar Apolinario.
Did you understand what you have watched? Let us answer the following questions. What is the news all about? Very good. The news is about Typhoon Lando. Where did it happen? Correct. It happened here in Cabanatuan City during Typhoon Lando. Why do you think this happened? That's right. This happened because there is a weather disturbance. Do you know what a weather disturbance is? Do you have an idea how these storms happen? How do you know if it is going to rain? Let us find out in this lesson. Because we are surrounded by bodies of water, we are prone to weather disturbances. Our nearness to the Pacific Ocean, which lies on the eastern side of our country, is the most significant contributor to weather disturbances in our country. With that, our country is mostly visited by tropical cyclones. Weather is the condition of the atmosphere at a short period of time. There are different factors that affect the weather. This includes air temperature, air pressure, humidity, clouds, precipitation, and wind speed and direction. When these factors change and affect the condition of the atmosphere, weather disturbances may occur. Weather disturbances refer to any disruption of the atmosphere's stable condition. It can manifest through the formation of a low-pressure area or different prevailing winds like monsoons and Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ. The Philippines is found in the tropics. We experience tropical cyclones. In a cyclone, the cool air flows to the place of the rising warm air. As a result, the air current spins. The wind spirals around to the center of the cyclone. This center is called the eye. It is surrounded by bands of clouds and winds. Tropical cyclones weaken as they reach land, not because a mountain or a building blocks them, but because the loss of their source of heat, which is warm air from the ocean, reduces their wind speed. Weather disturbances are also known as natural disasters because they can cause havoc on roads, power lines, and buildings. Don't get confused, my dear learners, because bagyo, typhoon, hurricane, and cyclones are just the same. Hurricanes and typhoons are the same weather phenomenon, which is the tropical cyclones. A tropical cyclone is a generic term used by meteorologists to describe a rotating, organized system of clouds and thunderstorms that originates over tropical or subtropical waters and has closed, low-level circulation. In the North Atlantic, Central North Pacific, and Eastern North Pacific, the term hurricane is used. The same type of disturbance in the Northwest Pacific is called a typhoon. Meanwhile, in the South Pacific and Indian Ocean, the generic term tropical cyclone is used, regardless of the strength of the wind associated with the weather system. That's why here in the Philippines, we use the term typhoon instead of cyclone and hurricane. Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration or PAG-ASA, the government agency that warns the people of an approaching typhoon, released on May 1, 2015 the classification of tropical cyclones based on the strength of the associated winds. They are tropical depression, tropical storm, severe tropical storm, typhoon, and super typhoon. Let us discuss it one by one. Take a look at the table. First one is the tropical depression. Tropical depression is a tropical cyclone with maximum sustained winds of up to 61 kilometers per hour or less than 33 nautical miles per hour. It is a weak, low pressure with a definite surface circulation. It is most common in the equatorial region or the Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ. This is what it looks like when there is a tropical depression. The second one is the tropical storm. Tropical storm is a tropical cyclone with a maximum wind speed of 62 to 88 kilometers per hour or 34 to 47 knots. This only means that when a tropical depression intensifies, it becomes a tropical storm. Next is the severe tropical storm. Severe tropical storm is a tropical cyclone with a maximum wind speed of 89 to 117 kilometers per hour or 48 to 63 knots. It is a more organized and more circular one. Another is the typhoon. Typhoon is a tropical cyclone with a maximum wind speed of 118 to 220 kilometers per hour or 64 to 120 knots. Most of the time, it is accompanied by heavy rains and strong winds. The last one is the super typhoon. Super typhoon is a tropical cyclone with maximum wind speed exceeding 220 kilometers per hour or more than 120 knots. It is the strongest tropical cyclone classification created in 2015 after the devastation of Super Typhoon Yolanda or Haiyan. Areas that are hit by this kind face a large amount of destruction. The occurrence of tropical cyclone affects the environment. Hence, Pag-asa closely observe any change in the atmosphere. The agency gives people regular updates on the weather condition. Typhoon signals to warn people of the coming typhoon through their regular weather bulletins. Wind speed is expressed in kilometers per hour or kph and is measured using an anemometer. The table shows the range of the wind speeds given for each signal number of the typhoon entering the Philippine area of responsibility. Based on Pag-asa, we have 5 public warning storm signals used in giving advisories. For public storm warning signal number 1, winds moving at a speed of 30 to 60 kilometers per hour may be expected in at least 36 hours or intermittent rains may be expected within 36 hours. No damage to very light damage may occur, like twigs and branches of small trees may be broken. Some houses of very light materials like nipa and kogon may be partially unroofed and rice crop may suffer significant damage when it is flowering. Public storm warning signal number 2, winds moving at a speed of 61 to 120 kilometers per hour may be expected in at least 24 hours. Light to moderate damage may occur, like uprooted few big trees. Large number of nipa and kogon houses may be partially or totally unroofed, and some old galvanized iron roofs may be peeled off. Public storm warning signal number 3. Winds moving at a speed of 121 to 170 kilometers per hour may be expected in at least 18 hours. Moderate to heavy damage may happen. The disturbance is dangerous to the communities threatened and affected. Classes in all levels should be suspended and children should stay in the safety of strong structures. Public storm warning signal number 4. A very intense typhoon will affect the locality. Winds moving at a speed of 171 to 220 kilometers per hour may be expected in at least 12 hours. Heavy to very heavy damage may occur. During a very intense typhoon, many large trees may be uprooted. Most residential and institutional buildings of mixed construction materials may be severely damaged, and electrical power distribution and communications may be severely disrupted. Public storm warning signal number 5. A super typhoon will affect the locality. Winds moving at a speed of 220 kilometers or above may be expected in at least 12 hours. A very heavy to widespread damage may occur. Complete roof failure on many residences and industrial buildings may happen. Most plants, tall trees may be broken, uprooted, or defoliated. Typhoons bring strong winds and heavy rains resulting in flooding, great damage to crops, houses and buildings, and death due to accidents. As you can see in the picture, Asian communities living in Zamboanga City are vulnerable people affected by Typhoon Odette. Their houses were destructed by the typhoon. Even their community school was damaged. The Badjao or Badjao tribe is an indigenous population whose culture and livelihood are tied to the sea. They are also widely known as the Sea Gypsies of the Sulu and Celebes Seas. The Badjao scattered along the coastal areas of Tawi-Tawi, Sulu, Basilan, and some coastal areas of Zamboanga City. The elderly and persons with disability affected by the typhoons that struck our country are also having a hard time taking care of themselves and keeping them safe. This only means that in times of calamities, such as typhoons and floods, no one is exempted from its harmful effect. What will you do when you see indigenous people like the Badjaos in the streets asking for alms? How about the elderly and person with disability? Are you going to laugh at them because of their deficiencies? Indigenous people and PWDs often face discrimination because of their physical appearance and deficiencies. Remember that they are just like us. Let us always treat them with love and respect. We are different in color, race, and culture, but we are all by God. What is in the picture? That's right. This is a go bag. A bag with survival supplies and kept ready for use in case of an emergency that requires rapid evacuation. This may be filled with food, first aid kit, clothes, important documents, toiletries, and tech equipment that will be of great help in times of disasters. Now that you have learned about weather disturbances and its effect on one's daily life, let us answer this activity. What you are going to do is you will complete the table by putting the information that corresponds to the typhoon signal. I will give you 5 minutes to finish this activity. Again, you may pause this video while doing this activity. Here are your choices. Are you done? Here are the answers. Let us start with signal number 1. For signal number 2, signal number 3, for signal number 4, and signal number 5. Did you get it all right? Here's a thumbs up for you for doing a great job. This time, we will have a group activity. For group 1, you will draw the things that should be included in your go bag. For group 2, you will fill out this table by writing the possible things that you should do before, during, and after a typhoon. For group 3, you will arrange the following jumbled letters to identify the factors that affect the weather. I will give you 5 minutes to complete this activity. Are you done? Let us check your work. Look at the answers for each activity. Very good, kids! Now that you are aware of the things about weather disturbance, let us answer the following questions. What are the classifications of tropical cyclones? Describe each. That's right! The classifications are tropical depression, tropical storm, severe tropical, typhoon, and typhoon. What are the effects of tropical cyclones? Very good. Heavy rains resulting in flooding, great damage to crops, houses and buildings, and death due to accidents. How will you show your concern for the victims of the calamity? That's correct. Giving donations and help to victims of calamity will be of great help to them. For your activity, answer this. Identify the kind of tropical cyclone being described in each item. Choose your answer from the box and write your answer on the space provided. Number 1. A tropical cyclone with maximum sustained winds of up to 61 kilometers per hour or less than 33 nautical miles per hour. Number 2. A tropical cyclone with a maximum wind speed of 62 to 88 kilometers per hour or 34 to 47 knots. Number 3. A tropical cyclone with a maximum wind speed of 118 to 220 kilometers per hour or 64 to 120 knots. Most of the time, it is accompanied by heavy rains and strong winds. Number 4. A tropical cyclone with maximum wind speed exceeding 220 kilometers per hour or more than 120 knots. Areas that are hit by this kind face a large amount of destruction. And number 5, a tropical cyclone with a maximum wind speed of 89 to 117 kilometers per hour or 48 to 63 knots. More organized and more circular. Are you done? Here are the answers. Well done, science learners! Congratulations because you are now knowledgeable of our lesson for today. For your assignment, suppose your community was damaged by a recent typhoon. Write a letter to the mayor talking about your situation and needs in your community. You may share your ideas with your classmates. That's it for today. Thank you for being such a wonderful listener. I hope that you learned a lot from me. This has been Ma'am Glenn Abigail A. Garcia, your science teacher for today. Goodbye!